Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're cracking open a hidden playbook. We're diving deep into some brand new airline rules and federal protections that are specifically designed for travelers over 60. Let's be totally honest. If you or someone you love is planning a trip, you really need to know about some massive changes coming down the pike. Knowing these rules is going to save you time, save you money, and honestly, most importantly, save your dignity at the airport.
So let me ask you something pretty crucial right off the bat. Are you paying for airport perks that should actually be completely free? Here's the unfortunate reality that creates this kind of us versus them dynamic in the travel industry. Travelers who just don't know the rules lose big money and suffer a ton of unnecessary stress. But claiming the rights you already legally possess, that costs absolutely nothing.
And there's a huge reason this stuff stays under the radar. Airlines absolutely will not volunteer to tell you about these protections. Why? Because federal agencies and airlines know full well that educating you costs them money. The less you know, the more they can charge you for basic comfort and access. But today, with this explainer, we're changing that entirely.
All right, let's dive into this. Here is the agenda for our journey today. First, booking your accessible seat. Second, securing a free gate pass. Third, navigating security. Fourth, protecting your medical liquids. And finally, number 5, bypassing customs when you're returning home.
Starting off with Section 1, booking your accessible seat. You know that familiar anxiety of trying to snag a good seat when you book a flight, right? Well, brace yourselves, because a massive shift is coming that you absolutely must prepare for, especially if you fly Southwest Airlines. For exactly 52 years, Southwest has used that famous open seating model. You check in, you get your letter and number, and you just scramble for a spot. But mark your calendars for January 27, 2026, because assigned seating begins. That whole historic system is officially gone. And if you're buying a basic fare, this brings some huge, potentially stressful changes to your travel experience.
Here's what that looks like. If you're a standard basic fare passenger, you don't get to pick your seat at check-in anymore. The airline just assigns it to you. Which means, let's face it, you're incredibly likely to get stuck in a back middle seat. But contrast that with someone who has a documented medical need, they get a free appropriate seat. If you have a medical requirement, like maybe you're recovering from a knee replacement, you have a hip issue, or a bladder condition where you just have to be near the restroom, being trapped in that back middle seat is a massive problem.
So here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. The Air Carrier Access Act legally entitles you to an appropriate seat at no extra charge. This is federal law, folks. It's not just some nice-to-have preference. It is a legally mandated medical accommodation. A simple call to the airline's accessibility desk right when you book secures the exact seat you need without them slapping you with those crazy upgrade fees. You get to fly comfortably, and you don't pay a single dime extra for a seat you're already federally entitled to. Moving right along to Section 2, securing a free gate pass.
Getting this escort pass for a caregiver is incredibly helpful, and it's just a simple 3-step process. Step 1, call the airline right after you book your ticket and tell them you're an elderly traveler who needs a non-passenger escort pass for an assistant. Step 2, arrive extra early at the check-in counter on your travel day. And Step 3, make sure your companion brings a real ID-compliant license or passport. This pass is amazing because it allows someone who isn't even flying to walk with you all the way through security, carry your heavy bags, and most importantly, talk to the gate agents for you if things get chaotic with delays.
All right, into Section 3, navigating security with dignity.
This takes us straight into the chaotic gauntlet of the TSA checkpoint. It's loud, the lines are moving super fast, and agents are constantly waving their hands and yelling for everyone to do the exact same thing. But please, do not let all that noise pressure you into giving up your dignity at the checkpoint. I want you to focus on this number right here, 75. If you are 75 years of age or older, there's a specific TSA protocol that literally exempts you from removing your shoes and your light jacket. This rule has been on the books for years, yet it's wild how many seniors just have no idea it exists. The issue is that TSA agents are busy, and they really aren't stopping to look at exactly who is standing in front of them in that fast-moving line.
So, when you step up to that conveyor belt, here's what you do. Make direct eye contact with the officer and firmly state this exact quote. "I am over 75 and I am keeping my shoes on." Remember, you are not asking for permission here, not at all. You are confidently stating a fact based strictly on their very own rulebook. Once you assert this, the agent will direct you right on through. No hopping around, no struggling with laces required.
And hey, this protection extends to internal hardware too.
If you've got a metal implant like a hip replacement or a pacemaker, you are absolutely going to set off that metal detector. When they point you towards secondary screening, use this exact magic phrase. I have a medical device and I cannot stand with my arms raised. I need to be screened while seated. Saying those exact words guarantees you a seated physical screening. It preserves your dignity and, on a very practical level, it completely keeps you from losing your balance during a pat-down.
Okay, on to Section 4, protecting your essential medical liquids.
This is another massive TSA stressor, where we see travelers routinely throwing incredibly expensive health supplies straight into the trash just because they don't know how to legally pack them. We all have this number drilled into our heads, right? 3.4, the standard 3.4-ounce liquid limit. But the absolutely crucial point here is that this limit does not apply to medically necessary liquids. We are talking full-size bottles of insulin, nutritional drinks like Ensure or Glucerna, prescription liquid meds, and saline. You can legally carry them right on through.
But here's the catch. You cannot just leave them buried at the bottom of your suitcase. You've got to pull them out, separate them into a clear bag before the conveyor belt, look directly at the officer and say, "These are medically necessary liquids. I am declaring them." That word, declaring, is literally a magic password. It instantly triggers the TSA's exemption protocol, which means they will safely run them through a separate scanner or test them rather than tossing your expensive medical supplies in the trash.
And oh, there is an incredibly vital detail here for anyone traveling with diabetes or refrigerated medications. Ice packs for refrigerated meds must be frozen rock hard, or TSA will confiscate them. No joke. If your ice packs are even slightly melted or kind of slushy, the TSA can and will classify them as standard liquids and throw them out right on the spot. You have to ensure they are completely solid before you leave your house.
Finally, Section 5, bypassing international customs lines.
So you survived the flight, had a wonderful trip, and now we arrive at the final hurdle. When you're finally returning home from an international adventure, the absolute last thing you want is that awful 60 to 90-minute wait in line just to get back into your own country. And this brilliantly illustrates the solution. We all know about global entry, right? It costs $100, requires a tedious background check, and takes months to process. But the official U.S. Customs mobile passport control app is completely free, and you can set it up on your phone instantly. There is absolutely zero advance approval needed.
Here is how this absolute game changer works. When your flight lands and you're just sitting there taxiing to the gate, you simply open the app, answer the standard declaration questions, and boom, it generates a QR code right on your screen. You then literally walk past those massive, hour-long lines right into the mobile passport control lane, which, by the way, is usually totally empty, show your code, and you clear customs in under 10 minutes. It's amazing. Wow, we have covered a tremendous amount of ground today, haven't we? From hidden seating rights to security protocols and custom shortcuts. Now that you are armed with this playbook, I want to leave you with one final, provocative question. What other travel rights are just hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered? Keep staying curious, my friends. Always claim what is legally yours and have an absolutely amazing time on your next big adventure.